Hello, everyone. Autumn here, back with another arts interview. And today we're speaking to an actor, retired police officer, and an author, and so much more. And we met at a diner. Let's get started. Go ahead and introduce yourself for me, please.
Hi, my name is Duane Michaels. I live in Lawton, Oklahoma. I'm an actor and a writer.
Yes. And I was so happy to meet you in Lawton, Oklahoma, at a diner of all places, and
Yeah.
we got connected in a really fun way. But I want you to be able to share with the audience kind of your story. I know you used to work as a police officer, but
Mhm.
you're a full-blown artist. So go ahead
Yeah.
and lay out what your core art forms are right now.
Oh, okay. Well, like I said, I'm an actor. I started doing stand-up comedy when in the middle of being a police officer back in the day. So just for fun, every Wednesday night they had open mic night and at the Looney Bin in Wichita, Kansas. And I would, I got pretty good at it every Wednesday. And eventually someone's like, "Hey, you should do this professionally." I'm like, "Really?" Yeah, okay. So I started doing a little bit more shows, bigger shows, and that would lead up to being an actor. I have a friend who is a producer that I grew up with, and he said, "Man, you got that great personality. You're doing stand-up comedy. You should switch over to being an actor." So I auditioned for a part in a movie, and surprisingly, I got the role. And the movie actually still is in the works. It's almost finished, from what I understand. It could be a TV show on Netflix. We'll see. I will talk about that here in a little bit if you want. And so I got the acting bug after that. It was just like I had to keep being behind camera after that. It was so much fun. I had so much fun doing that movie that I auditioned for everything. If it was free, if it was paid, it was college, it was, whatever. I was like, man, just put me out there. So I started putting myself out there, acting in TV and movies, and I was an extra and background. And I even did stuntman, and I was a props guy. So I mean, in armor. So I was just throwing myself into everything I could just to get near the camera because it was so much fun. That's how much fun I had. And ever since then, that's been my love. So that's where I'm at now at this point. I'm working, as you as you know, at part-time jobs here and there. And in the meantime, I'm a struggling artist, but I'm having a good time doing it.
No, I love that. And I love how much space you've given yourself to just explore so many different avenues,
Yeah.
especially understanding like the camera's what I love. The camera's what I need, and let's
Yes.
see where all around the camera I can get.
Yeah.
Because I think that it's not talked about often enough how many different planes you can kind of explore before you do land, you know?
Yeah.
I want to hear. We'll come back to this point in time. Let's travel back in time, like way back before you had a career.
Okay.
What made you want to be a police officer? What were your dreams? And how did you get to that point? And then we're going to fast forward further.
So the first question, give me the first question one more time. I'm sorry. My cat, I'm so sorry. My cat is in the room. Help me. Somebody. There he goes. Okay, one second. I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
I got that's the funniest thing ever. I swear to God.
I heard the softest meow.
I'm like, please stop digging in the closet. Stop digging in the closet. And then
I didn't hear
I,
that.
I zoned out. I zoned out for about 2 seconds right when you asked that question. I'm so sorry. Please ask
You're
that again.
fine. You're totally fine.
I'm like, you can rewind this. It'll be funny to watch my face because you'll know that in my face I'm thinking, "Shut up, cat, please."
The eyes just kind of glazed over. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so funny. Oh God, sorry about that.
No, you're good. Okay.
Okay,
Ready?
I am so ready.
I'm saving this for a blooper.
Oh no.
Perfect.
So you
Okay.
want me to go back? You said you want me to go back.
We're going to travel back in time. So obviously, we know that right now you're pursuing acting, you're doing some things on the side, whatever that looks like. We'll get more into that as well.
Yeah.
Let's go all the way back. What
Mm,
were your dreams when you were little, and
mm.
what got you to the police officer standpoint?
Oh wow. Yeah. Well, I grew up in South Lake Tahoe, California.
Mhm.
Very mountainous and a really wonderful place for a kid to grow up. exploring out in the wilderness. We didn't really stay inside very much. Um, Being an only child, I had to have an imagination because, there's no playmate there. So I got really good at being the only child and talking to myself and had the imaginary friend and I never had problems making friends either because I was so good at wanting to have friends that I would come up with this. I had this great knock on the door. Hi, my name is Michael Shava. Will you please be my friend? And I got pretty good at that. But I've always been a little actor. That's why it was so easy for me to move into that. I just never thought it'd be a career.
Yeah.
You know. Um, Later in life, okay. So the first part was you wanted to know my childhood. There I am.
Hmm.
Okay. And then, the love for acting came just for, being a crazy kid and putting on little shows for you ever do that as a kid, putting on shows for your parents?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I had these two girls, Melissa and Rebecca, that I grew up with. They were kind of like my sisters, my mom's best friend. They went to school together and we grew up together. And so every time we would go over to their house, we would put together these shows. I would always be the boyfriend that got pushed away, or something. We'd do music videos. We would put on costumes, and I was doing theater and didn't realize it at the time. So that's where that kind of came from, just my childhood of just being creative, a very creative person.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, I very much relate to that, being an only child as well, as I think we've talked about before.
yeah,
Like being able to really utilize the full expanse of your imagination and just create these worlds and these people who we've seen in the world and we later see in the world more
yeah,
as we learn about people more. But I
yeah,
think that's really special. And I want to go from there to your beginnings of acting. Obviously, you said that you had a friend who was a producer who you'd grown up
yeah,
with, which is awesome. Great
yeah.
network. Hello. But I want to know what's been the most challenging part and how long have you been doing this?
I started about 4 years ago.
Okay.
Like I said, I had applied for a role.
Hmm.
Um, it was called Promised Land, and I played the bad guy, Bert. And it's kind of a very political kind of show where red versus blue type thing, and a lot of corruptness goes on. And I think one of the challenging things about being an actor is the fact that I had to memorize lines. So I had a lot of lines I had to in that show. I had a lot of lines I had to memorize. I never had to do that. So I've got little cue cards, and I would just go through them and go through them, and that was luckily how I would remember all the lines. But I think it was one of the biggest challenges of being an actor. But yeah, that was the beginning. That was the beginning of it. It was Promised Land and the love for it. Right away, I met a man named Mike Kimmel, and Mike Kimmel he used to write for the Tonight Show, and he's a big actor. He's still a big actor. He writes books about how being an actor. I got this amazing mentor on the set of Promised Land that also helped me love the art very much. And I got free acting lessons there for a while. So
Not too
yeah,
shabby.
yeah, it wasn't too bad. So that's kind of how my first experience went with acting.
Because of what you expressed about, like learning how to memorize lines, huge hurdle. It's a
Yeah.
huge block of text on a lot of pages, depending on the situation that you really have to learn how to cram into your brain properly.
Yes.
But I'm intrigued about your mentor and about finding one. And I want to know, like, based on your own experience within the acting field and the performance
Hmm.
field as a whole, what is some advice that you would give to young actors who are looking for a mentor, who might not know the purpose of a mentor in this field, and who really want to be able to continue growing, but don't really know where to start or how to begin that process?
Hmm. With me, it was tough because I actually did it the hard way. I learned through trial and error, oh, that didn't work. Oh, don't do that again type thing. I didn't have that in the beginning. And then once I met Mike, Kimmel, he gave me all this great advice. So the big reason you'd want a mentor definitely would be to get you through the maze that is Hollywood. If you try to do the maze yourself, you're going to be landlocked there for a while. But if you have somebody that helps you circumvent the business, you can really get over some hurdles that you wouldn't have known if unless they told you. So that would definitely be the big purpose of having a mentor.
Yeah.
So I was really lucky with that, getting that mentor.
No,
But
absolutely.
if you want to start in the business, I think the best way to get started also is get a backstage account.
Okay.
Backstage, they should give it to me for free since I'm promoting them. But Backstage is a job search engine for actors. And you just pay, I think it's like 29 a month or like 50 for 3 months, or they come up with this, the more you pay, or I mean, the more you stretch it out, the cheaper it gets. So you can pay for the year or whatever, but you can search Backstage and get any kind of acting, get voice acting, commercial acting, and things like that. I would suggest doing that. Get your portfolio going, get some headshots, um, start taking some acting classes.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking acting classes. I took acting classes, and some people just think that they're just that natural actor, but you take some acting classes and realize, oh gosh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You can learn some really neat secrets that actors will give you in these acting classes. So
What's
that
some
would be some advice I give.
learned while in some of these classes?
Oh man, I've learned so much. Just the emotional part, how to get emotional,
Mm.
how the thinking process of how to get to a certain character without having to, create it. You can get there by being there before. You just got to bring it back to that moment.
Mm.
So real life experience is really good experience. So that would be some advice too. You're going to use a lot of your life experience and acting. I don't really consider myself an actor. I'm not really acting. I'm just bringing back some emotions that I've had before in the past, and I'm bringing them to now. So it's still called acting, but that's kind of what it is. Me bringing my old emotions to back from the past.
Yeah. I
Kind
guess
of deep.
in a way it's like acting is fishing. You're reeling it back in.
Yeah, oh yeah. You got to find maybe a song. I have a couple of songs that I listen to if I want to get into a sad mode. I have a
Okay.
couple of songs that will get me there pretty quick because they have memories behind those songs. And
Mm.
so that's one of the ways I get myself into an emotional, to cry or look sad or something like that. So
Yeah. Hey,
mhm.
thank you for sharing that. I
Yeah,
appreciate that. And I hope
yeah,
that that's helpful to somebody. It's helpful to me for sure. So I
yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah. I mean, like I personally, I mean, like I even use like my mother passed away,
Mm.
and we were really close. And being an only child, we spent a lot of time together, my mom and I. So whenever I want to think about if I want to get emotional in a scene, I have a couple songs I listen to that reminds me of my mom. And then I tell myself, okay, mom, you're going to be with me in this scene, and we're going to get this done. And then here comes the tears. Stuff like that. You got to trick yourself into it. So actors are very emotional people, and we use emotions a lot. We're learning how to use them to benefit us for our job. So,
Couldn't have said it better myself.
yeah.
Thank you for sharing about your mom. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. No problem. No, thank you.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
she's very big influence in my she's always been that big influence in my life. So
Yeah.
yeah, you
If you
see me, you see my mom.
That's so sweet. I love that. If you
Yeah.
don't mind, I would love to creep a little closer to your mom and your
Mhm.
family. And I
Okay.
would love to know, like, tying your family in with your career,
Hmm.
what did the transition look like? Bringing it back to the lore. Obviously, you had a career as a cop, left to start acting.
Yeah.
What did the people around you think about that? What
It's
was that transition like socially for your
yeah.
family and your friends and for you and the community you'd built?
Yeah, it's funny because my kids all thought I was joking. Um, my kids know me pretty well. They know that I'm the one that goes out for these kind of things, the kind of stuff I do. But it wasn't taken in very well. My mom, my dad, everybody was pretty much like, "You're wasting your time. It's too late in life for you." Because I'm older. I didn't start younger, and I don't know. I think in the beginning, the only person that really supported me in the beginning was Amira, the young lady that I'm engaged to, and also um, one of my children, because my son knows that, man, yeah, do it, Dad. That'd be great. That's cool. Everybody else was like, don't do it. Don't do it. You're wasting your time. You know, it's just because it's not because they didn't care. It was because they're worried about my financial situation, or they're worried about me being disappointed because it's tough. It's a tough business. So, but they should know me. I'm pretty tenacious. I bounce back pretty fast, and I don't give up easy. So you got to, especially when you're starting to acting later in life too. You're competing with young folks like yourself,
Mhm.
and it's difficult. It's difficult. More, it's even harder for the women than it is for the men. So I can only imagine.
Yeah. And that's actually a really perfect transition because as you were speaking, I wanted to ask you more about that. What does it look like to begin this kind of dream a little later in life than maybe most do, but definitely never too late, as I like to think we've already learned, but continue to learn. What does that look like? What are the benefits for you? And also, what are the challenges? And if you don't mind getting
It's okay.
with it.
Yeah. No, I think it's more challenging than it is beneficial at this point for me. I'm getting the benefits when I do work. I love to work, and it's not about the money. If it was about the money, I would be doing a different job, that's for sure. But the money is decent when I'm doing it, when I'm working. But finding acting jobs is really difficult. So um, sometimes it seems like it's really like you get two or three at a time, and then you're going to have a big gap of not have anything. So when you're having that big gap of nothing, you have to work a real job, like like me. And so I think that's the hardest part is the financial thing. I used to before I did decide to do this, I was making pretty good money in Kansas City. I had an upper job making pretty good money, and I didn't really worry about money. Now I'm worried about money all the time. So if you got money saved up, you're gonna have an easier transition than I did because I didn't really have that much money saved up at that point. Um, so I think that's the biggest challenge. It's just been the financial part. The joy is just acting and being able to work and entertain.
What are the kinds of roles that you most often are reading for or get cast within?
Oh man, I pretty much 80 to 90% a bad guy.
Okay.
And it's not because I'm this horrible person. I think it's because the
You're
opposite.
not scary. In case
No, I,
you were
I
worried,
I
you're not
can be.
scary.
That's the
Sure.
thing is I can make a really scary face. And also I think I've been around when I was a police officer, being around all these bad guys. I can really absorb that, their personalities and act like these, in certain situations. I know how to act. So
Sure.
like these bad guys, I'm they're my muse at this point. That's horrible. I know. I know. But you
Perfect.
gotta draw from something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's your prior experience. Pop
But yeah, I'm
off.
mostly cast for bad guys, mostly bad guys.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm okay with that. I mean, this to me, it's still work. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. I'll be the new bad guy. That's fine. Everybody hates me. It's like, yes, I'm doing my job. That's exactly. I don't care about that. I'm cool with that. Let it be.
As a kid, it's funny that you say that because as a kid, I was like always watching, the I don't even know what to call it. The next generation of Disney, let's say, into their 3D animation only era. I
Okay.
was watching Tangled and I was like, man, Mother Gothel deserves a raise.
Yeah.
The villains are doing so much of this grunt work.
Yeah.
There are so many stories where our hero, while being the hero, is largely passive and simply reactive to the conflict being pushed onto the hero or onto their environment or onto the people they love, and then they have to take action from there. But the villain is running the show, so
Yeah.
I think you're getting some really strong roles.
Yeah, and you know, and as a kid growing up, don't we all vote for the villain sometimes to win? We want that villain to just maybe make it a little bit further, you know, like come on, you know. So, you know, why not? Why not?
Yeah. I want to know on that note, what has been your favorite role? What's been the best set that you've worked on thus far, and what did you love about it?
Man, that's a tough one because there's been so many good sets that I've worked on, but I think there's a movie coming out called Culpa, Culpa. It means fault, and I play a poltergeist. And basically, what happens is I get ran over by a couple teens by accident. They're drunk driving. They check up on me. They don't want to ruin their life, so they just leave me for dead.
Ah,
So they go to college, and guess who comes back into the picture? Me. And so the whole movie, in the movie, I was running without my shirt as before I got killed. So
oh,
now in the whole movie, I got no shirt on. Every time you see me, I got more blood on my face. I'm getting falling apart type thing. And I just got to be really like, you get to really, and just be like all the time. And so it was fun. I thought it was really fun because I got to be the scary guy and scare everybody the whole time on set. I had blood on me all the time. And,
that's
um,
wild.
but we filmed for about almost 2 weeks in Oklahoma City area,
Okay,
and it should be coming out. I think it's going to be ready for the end. They said it would be ready for film festivals by the end of the year, so I'll give you more info when it comes out.
please
But
do.
everybody on set was just we were all friends. When it was over, none of us wanted to leave, and you know there's a big emotional thing that goes on as an actor an actress is when you're done with the project, how you realize you go through like a little depression.
Yeah,
And I didn't believe it until it started happening to me. Like after you'll film like a long 2 week or 3 week film, and then you'll get separated, and then now you're like separated from your family. So you get all sad and
yeah.
mope around the house for a couple days, and
Aw.
yeah,
But your cat's there to comfort you, so it's
my
okay.
cat is here to drive me crazy. Yeah, absolutely.
No, but I really get it. Like I feel I have felt that way on film sets. I've never filmed for that long, admittedly, but I feel that way within theater as well. You
Mhm.
know, like you have that those months of rehearsal and then
Yeah.
the show's finally over and you're like, "Oh, the tangible product that I had at the end of that was community."
Yeah, and I tell you, theater's probably even worse because you guys are like as many times as you guys rehearse and practice. I've done theater one time, and man, just talk about speaking all the lines. I played four parts. I played four different parts in a theater role, and I had to memorize all these roles. And
Or
oh my gosh, it was crazy. But it's the Brothers Grimm Spectacular-thon.
oh,
You have to look it
okay.
up. Yeah, you have to look it up. It's pretty wild. But anyway, yeah, theater, you guys are, I don't know, you guys get really close. You guys get really close. So you can definitely understand what I'm talking about. Get that little depression going.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
It's on to the next project. So, varying
Yeah.
timelines, intervals of time between that. But regardless, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. It's just it's a weird thing that happens that you don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, I keep saying this, on that same line, we're just going down a really perfect tightrope of like, this is the next
Yeah.
monkey bar. Can't wait. Um, I want to know the nitty-gritty details of why you love being on set. What is it? Like, obviously, you've implied several things and we've mentioned little details here and there, but give me the nitty-gritty of what sets your heart ablaze about it and what keeps you coming back.
I think just to be able to entertain people around me on set and off set because you become really good friends with the people off set
Mm.
and we joke around And I think it's just as a whole, it's a like a little community of love there. You guys, everybody supports each other. Everybody is rooting for each other because we're all trying to make one good product. And so there's nobody after each other. Nobody's trying to top anybody because the fact that, we're all hoping for the product to be perfect that way, and we all have our little bit of peace there. So I just think the camaraderie of everything, everybody, the love that everybody shows each other and just the closeness and being able to entertain and, always like it sounds cheesy, just like before, I've always been the entertainer. I've always loved to entertain people. So when I get a chance to do it and get paid to do it, I mean, you can't beat that. You can't beat that.
Absolutely not. You're right. I completely agree.
Yeah.
I want, I have technically two more questions for you,
Okay.
but I want to be able to highlight and give you the opportunity to highlight your book.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
That
that's crazy. I just happen to have a copy right here. Look at that.
Stop it right now. Hold it
Look
up,
at
nice
that.
and pretty. Wow. For those listening via strictly audio, Cop Inc. True Police Stories. Donuts, decapitation, and dumpster sex. Real calls that will make you laugh, cry, and gasp. By Duane
That's right. And it's available on Amazon. Just you can search
Michaels.
Cop Inc. or you can and that's INK or you can search Duane Michaels and it'll pop right up.
It's
So
perfect. What inspired you to write it and write it the way that you did?
oh, well, the inspiration, well, I needed something therapeutic.
Mhm.
So every time I talk to people and tell them I used to be a police officer, they're like, "Oh, what's the craziest thing that ever happened?
Sure.
What's the strangest thing? What's the grossest thing?" And so I thought, well, you know what? I'm gonna write a book about it. I started writing stories. I didn't really plan to make a whole book.
Yeah.
So after about, I don't know, 30, 40 stories, I'm like, I better keep going. So the book has 79 stories. So it took me about 5 years to really come up with the stories.
Hmm.
Um, and now when someone asks me, what's the craziest thing ever happened? I say, well, here you go. That's a boom.
Pull up your book.
That's right.
So why
And so
79 and not 80?
that's a good question. That's just how it happened. There was no, just, there was no plan there. It just happened that way.
All right, whatever.
That's a big mystery. I don't know.
Maybe the next book will have 78 and then it just slowly declines
Well,
into
I'm
mystery.
actually working on part one and part two and three.
Are you really?
Yeah, I saved all my notebooks from when I was a police officer, so I've got all these stories that I can use. So I'm gonna be writing a couple more.
That's so sweet. I love that.
Thank you, appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Okay, you expressing that, writing these stories was kind of therapeutic for you perfectly blends into our final two questions.
Awesome.
Yeah. I need to know in an answer that is able to encapsulate everything we've talked about, no pressure. Why the arts have been so important in your life and why you think they're important to the world.
Hmm. Wow, that's a big question. Why it's important to me in my life personally is it lets me express who I am, and I get to entertain people, make people laugh, cry, smile, and when Copa comes out, get really scared,
Mhm.
and just to be able to make when I was a little kid, I used to go to the theater all the time. And movie theater was right down the street. I used to, you can't do it anymore. But when I was a kid, you just walked right to the movie theater yourself. I was like 8, 9, 10. And so I was always at the movies. I was always fantasizing about space and fantasy. And, my head was in the clouds all the time.
Yeah.
And so to be able to be on the set of these fantasy movies and things like that is to me just a dream come true because of all the entertainment that it gave to me as a kid and all the happy memories being an only child. So, but why it's important to the world is the same reason, just in a bigger scale. Entertainment. Life is too serious. Life is way too serious. We can't always take it serious. So, get out the movies. Go see your local theater. I would definitely say support your local theater. because I've done it once, and it's the work that is put into those theaters is, and they don't get the financial that they need. So we need to start supporting that a little bit more. But man, the world needs entertainment. We need to be able to smile sometimes, not take ourselves so seriously all the time, you know?
I agree.
So, yeah.
There's a
Like
lot.
yourself, totally, you know what I'm talking about. You entertained me when we went to the court thing. I know you don't want to talk about that.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Dwayne ended up helping to connect me to the Bar Association mock trial in Kansas City, where we got to talk for a collective of 40 minutes and pretend to be a couple getting divorced
Yeah.
for
It was
these
totally
years
improvised.
of
Yeah.
practice. Yeah, completely improvised, a base layer story established. And Dwayne and I were partnered together um, in both of our sessions and getting to improvise on the stand of how we wanted to play our characters in this catty relationship, let's
Yeah.
say.
And
Yeah.
you did such a good job, though. You were really believable. The only thing is your age. That was the difference there. But at the same, yeah, you're like, I have kids, I have all this. They're like, wow, you look really young.
Yeah.
But no,
She
you
has
did
money
really
for
good.
Botox.
Hey, she spends a lot of money. She
She
spends a
spends a
lot of
lot of
money.
money on her own wellness. But
Yes.
regardless, those are details that the audience doesn't have. Regardless. Yeah. But thank you. I appreciate that. And
Oh man, that was great. That was
I
great. And you were
agree.
great. You were so great.
Thanks. I echo that
Yeah.
back to you.
Thank you.
I was really personally invested in the character though, and being so personally invested, I got really genuinely irritated when you went up
Yeah.
on the stand and you were like, well, playing all meek, and I was like, you know what you did, and I was like, hold on, this isn't real. This isn't real. Just kidding. I had to.
I'm laughing because that's totally how I was playing it. It's like this defenseless. It's poor me.
I was 100% bought in. It really was. And unfortunately, that caused some unrest in my in my emotional
Well,
well-being.
that's a compliment. That means that I was believable enough for you to get irritated. That's good. Yay.
Throwing compliments your way. Exactly. I agree. Like,
Yeah.
this is the kind of community that the arts can build. And those are the kinds of moments, even though I was slightly emotionally distressed in the imaginary situation, it really is like the examples of like, don't take yourself so seriously. I think exactly what you just said of
Yeah.
a minute to just be there and be yourself in a different way as a performer. And then as a viewer, as a member of the audience, being able to appreciate seeing different people,
Yeah.
seeing through the lens of different perspectives. And ultimately, I think movies and theater and performances of all kind, they invite the audience to do that. Like we are invited.
Yeah, that's totally true. Yeah, I mean, and when you get people like you and I that we enjoy doing that,
Mhm.
just sit back and relax, type thing.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. I think I found what my love was. I didn't know I loved it that much until I got older, which sucks because I could have been doing this a long time. Like I could be a young person like yourself doing that at that age would have been so much fun. It would have been so much more fun. But I'm in it to win it at this point.
And we need you exactly as you are on camera. Like,
Yeah.
I think and obviously I acknowledge that I'm speaking from a perspective of, hi, I'm 24 and I'm just about to get in there. Um,
Yeah.
but I I think there's a reason. And regardless of like belief system and perspective and all of those things, I think that, it's so overlooked how much film and theater, so many different performances need people of all ages.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
And there's more acting opportunities now than ever.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all the streaming services, all the new shows. I mean, when I was young, um, there was only like a few shows on TV. Every kid watched the same show every week, and if you missed it, oh well. And then now, man, they have reruns. They have you can go back and watch movies from whatever. And so there's so many projects right now out there. Right now, there's so much need for actors.
Yeah.
So if you are interested in being an actor or an actress, right now is the time to do it because there's so much work out there to be had. I wish I could. I mean, I look at when I'm applying and for all these roles, I just can't believe I can't do them all. There's so many. And so you got to pick and choose. That's how many there is. So
And I think that comes with valuing your time in a different way and learning how to do that.
yeah.
And like, I can only assume that that becomes a little more relevant to people who are consistently getting work. That's not me. That's you. It's not me.
Well, I mean, it
But
doesn't go without trying though. It's like if I put 50 auditions in, I may get two calls.
yeah.
So that means I have to do 50 auditions to get two calls.
Mhm.
So it just depends on how much work. If you put 100 in, you're going to get four calls. Things like that. You start getting that number game. But if you're not willing to put in, if you say you do 25, well, you may not get a call at all. And
Mhm.
then you get frustrated and then you don't do it as much. So you have to really put your whole body into it, not just don't dip your toe and really dive into that pool and really audition for everything. If you really want it, take it.
That was everything. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and your energy. And I know that everything that you have expressed is going to help another performer. And it's already helping me.
I think that's great. Well, if I can help one person, which you said it's helped you, bam, I win.